is BTV, your home for memorable entertainment.
We had poor air quality today in the CSRA, and that alert lasts the rest of today, but we'll see improvement tomorrow, and it's going to be another warm day with some rain on the way. I'll have all those details coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 10, an update on the murder of a Bamberg man. The latest on that investigation for you. Also ahead, honoring the late President Jimmy Carter. How a local organization is showing its appreciation. As your News at 10 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 10 on BTV.
Hello, everybody. I'm Brad Means. We do thank you for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with an arrest in the shooting death of a Bamberg man. 17-year-old Malachi Johnson accused in the death of George Caldwell. Back on February 7th, officers responded to Dodge's store in Orangeburg. They found Caldwell in the parking lot, unresponsive. Surveillance footage and other evidence led detectives to identify Johnson as the suspect.
As leads began developing in the early hours after the shooting, this led to further development of additional leads, which were followed up immediately. And as a result of viewing local business video surveillance systems, along with the city-owned security systems in the area, some very valuable leads were obtained. The suspect was taken into custody without incident on yesterday.
That case now heads to a bond hearing. A North Augusta man being treated at the hospital after a structure he was working on fell on him. It happened this afternoon on Vancouver Road. Investigators say the man was working on an old one-story pool house when it fell in. First responders worked to get him out, the man alert and talking throughout the whole thing.
We're all here for the same purpose. We all work together when we need to, and as you can see from the amount of the trucks and people that are here, people don't hesitate to come help you. We train for it and pray it never happens, but when it does, we've got to be ready, and as you can see, all these men back here were.
The man was taken to the hospital for treatment. The National Weather Service in Columbia issuing a code orange air quality alert. That's because the Army Corps of Engineers is doing controlled burns across our area. Richmond, Columbia, Aiken, Barnwell, Edgefield, and McCormick counties all affected by the alert. They say you need to limit your time outdoors, keep your windows and doors closed in your house, and run your AC with clean filters.
If you are somebody that suffers from breathing ailments already, wear a mask if possible. And if you aren't feeling good and you're kind of slow today, keep in mind that probably is because you're not uptaking as much oxygen as you need to.
The air quality alert set to be in effect until conditions improve. And as we check our first weather, Jenna, improved conditions could include breeziness, and rain would be great.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to see tomorrow. Not a lot of rain by any means, but we'll at least see those winds up to around 25 miles per hour and a few showers coming in. But right now, as we take a look at the updated air quality, it is actually unhealthy again right across the metro. We saw better conditions just a little while ago, but now it's getting worse as the winds are light again. And we do still have those controlled burns all across the CSRA indicated by the red dots here. So that's quite a bit of fires. Our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam, and you can't really tell how hazy it is outside, but I was out and about just a little bit ago and I actually did cough because you can really tell that there is smoke in the sky. So if you're sensitive to that, still limit your time outside, even through tomorrow morning. It won't be until tomorrow afternoon that the winds start to pick up the pace. Now around the CSRA, we're seeing temperatures in the 50s. Augusta right at the 50-degree mark, 56 in Gibson, 57 in Edgefield. Waynesboro, you're at 59. And those dew points are sitting in the upper 30s, so we have very dry air in place. Of course, that's the reason for all the controlled burns happening. Winds are coming out of the south up to 7 miles per hour now in some places, but calm in the metro. Out towards the west of us, we have the cold front. That'll bring us that rain chance for our Thursday afternoon. But in the meantime, tonight we're going to stay in the 50s, and then we'll be down to around 44 by tomorrow morning with that slight chance of rain. Then slightly cooler on Friday, going down to the upper 60s. Lots of sunshine, though, as we head into the weekend with temperatures going back into the 70s. I'll have more details with a look at the next 10 days coming up. Back to you, Brad.
All right, Jenna, thanks. A local organization is honoring the late President Jimmy Carter 2 months after his death. Habitat for Humanity had a door painted as a memorial to him and his decades of service. Hannah McDonald here now to tell us more about what this means for the organization. Hannah?
President Jimmy Carter was the most famous volunteer with Habitat for Humanity, and the Door Memorial is one of the ways the organization wanted to honor his work. President Carter died in late December of 2024 and had worked with the organization since 1984. The moving memorial placed in the Augusta CSRA chapter of Habitat for Humanity was painted by Leonard Porkchop Zimmerman, who has painted other murals around town. It is robot-inspired, showing the late president at work.
He's incredibly dedicated. There are a lot of people who talk the talk, but they just don't walk the walk, and I think President Carter, what's so inspiring about him was he was dedicated his whole life. He was in his 90s on build sites building for people. He just was excited to be a part of creating legacies and lives for people, and he's just so inspirational.
An official with Habitat for Humanity says it was an honor to have Porkchop be a part of the memorial.
I think he's just a fantastic artist. He's got a heart of gold, and when I brought up the idea of this project, I mean, he just almost started crying, even being, a part of something related to President Carter. So I believe that was his president growing up, and luckily the stars aligned, and we were able to get him to work on this, and I'm just very excited for the community to see it.
The expression on the door was thought of by Kelleher as a thank you to Carter for paving the road for them and the millions of others involved with Habitat for Humanity.
It's really just about that anyone can be a part of this. Again, with the construction side, yes, there are hammers and nails and things like that involved, but there are also plenty of opportunities for people that's not their calling.
Taking that even a step further to anyone can be involved, anyone can make a difference. One person can make a huge difference in someone's life.
If you want to see the door or want to sign the second one they offer, you can find them at the Habitat Restore on Washington Road.
All right, Hannah, thanks. People in North Augusta taking to social media now to voice concerns about a planned mental health center right across from a school. In November, the Aiken County Council voted to rezone the old Belvedere United Methodist Church property to allow for a proposed health and wellness center. It is right across the street from Belvedere Elementary. It would include space for Aiken Barnwell Mental Health, which has many neighbors and parents worried. Law enforcement officers in McDuffie County using new technology to try to fight crime. Thanks to a funding grant, the sheriff's office installed 34 license plate reader cameras all around the county. Deputies say they track valuable information, and so far they've been successful.
A lot of things that these devices do and capture, that we can go back, that if we're not there at a certain time, we can go back and look and see, what kind of vehicles were here in the area, if a crime was committed. We've solved anything from putting potential suspects involved in homicides, a bunch of thefts, hit and runs, several crimes where, people have gone and stolen things from people's property.
That grant money comes from the state. It's going to cover costs for the next 2 to 3 years, and then the county's budget is going to have to cover it. Coming up, after recovery efforts, a local park finally ready to welcome visitors. What campers can expect when they make a reservation.
And our high temperatures will be close to 80 degrees tomorrow, so another warm day with those isolated showers coming in, breezy winds, sunny and dry Friday through Sunday. Things look great with some slightly cooler days ahead. I'll have your full Viper 6 forecast right after this break.
If you've been injured, we take immediate action to get you the help you need. The call.
As soon as I called Austin Jackson, I was very assured and at ease.
The response.
They handled everything so that I could focus on getting better.
The work.
They took on the insurance company for me.
The result.
I am very happy with the settlement I received. That's why you will get the Augusta Guy.
Call Austin Jackson, the Augusta Guy, 706-724-7224.
Is your bathroom Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Welcome back. I hope you had a great Wednesday. Here's a live look at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam outside of the Amentum Center in Aiken. Hazy skies still, but we're clear. We're sitting at 50 degrees, dew point of 42. And as for those temperatures all across the CSRA, we're seeing some low 50s here and there. 53 in Washington and Saluda, 55 in Swainsboro. Sylvania, you're still at 60, 59 58 in Sandersville and 58 in Waynesboro. Our satellite and radar not showing really anything going on other than the controlled burns, of course. And then out to the west, we have a cold front, showers and some cloud cover associated with it, but it's definitely not a strong front by any means. So that's good news. Don't have to worry about any severe weather or flooding tomorrow. Our low temperatures tonight will be a bit above average, upper 40s in some places, chilly, but a little warmer than normal. And our highs tomorrow will definitely be warmer than normal, mid-70s through upper 70s, a little bit cooler towards the northwest. That's where they're going to get the cloud cover and the rain chance first, so that'll limit the temperatures a bit. But from Augusta down towards the south, we'll have more opportunity to warm up. So throughout the day on Thursday, we're starting out sunny, then the clouds come in the afternoon with that chance of rain. So let's go right into our feature cast now. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., you can see some of those showers beginning to pop up with the clouds spreading throughout the area. But look how quick the clouds are in and out. Already seeing that clearing by 5 p.m. in our northwestern counties. It's going to be a thin line of rain coming through. You may barely even notice it, a quick downpour, and then it's out of here by 7 p.m., impacting places like Barnwell, Bamberg, Sylvania, Millen, and then we're completely dry by around 8 o'clock, and we're completely clear by that time as well. Now, let's talk about the winds tomorrow. It won't be too bad in the morning, but the winds will start to increase in the afternoon, gusts up to 25 miles per hour. And as that line is coming through, we could have a few weak storms develop as well that could bring some gustier winds. Not a lot of momentum with this front overall, but still can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm or two. We could use the rain for sure. We are in that first phase of drought in the CSRA, but that rain chance tomorrow isn't going to help with that too much. Drying out through the weekend, and then next week we'll have a better chance of rain, and that will be from another system coming in Wednesday night through Thursday. Overall, for that first week of March, an above average chance of rainfall in the southeast, so that'll help us out with the deficit we have so far for the month of February. And those high temperatures are kind of going to be all over the place, and that's because we're going to have a series of weak frontal passages come through, and we'll go from the 70s to the 60s, back to the 70s, and that continues really over the next 10 days. So we drop from 79 to 69 on Friday, then back to 74 on Saturday. Much cooler though on Sunday, down to 60, and then next week we'll see partly cloudy skies with those rain chances starting in the middle of the week.
All right, Jenna, thanks. Wildwood Park now accepting camping reservations. Remember, it got hit so hard by Helene. The campgrounds are open, the golf courses, the disc courses are closed, and the boat ramps are open to the public.
We pushed hard from day one to now to get back open because Wildwood is kind of an escape for people to get away from some of the damages around their homes, their neighborhoods, to get out to the lake and be back with nature, so to speak. So it was important for us to work as hard as we could to get those damages repaired and the tree work removed to where it's safe for people to come back in.
For more information on how to secure a reservation, just go to WJBF.com. And in North Carolina, we're getting a new look tonight at a town that was destroyed by that hurricane. Take a look at this side-by-side of Lake Lure, now compared to the devastation 5 months ago. The town posting the photos on Facebook. Large amounts of silt and debris have been removed from Morse Park there in town, and public works crews will soon move to the beautification stage of restoration, and that is a charming place to be sure. A debate today in the South Carolina House on the K-12 voucher bill. We'll take a look at the final decision after the break.
Ronnie Player here. Your power equipment and grilling needs covered under one roof. The CSRA is full of amazing women. Women who inspire. Women who innovate. Women who lead. That's why News Channel 6 brings you Women to Watch.
On the last Wednesday of each month, News Channel 6 recognizes local businesswomen who are making a positive impact in our community.
Nominate someone today at WJBF.com. Sponsored by Goodwill.
South Carolina lawmakers passing a bill that could affect K-12 education scholarships. Caroline Yaffa reports.
The state Supreme Court ruled the K-12 voucher program as unconstitutional last year. The original law used taxpayer dollars to pay for students to go to private schools.
Instead of using taxpayer money to fund K-12 scholarships, the Senate passed a bill that would use money from the South Carolina Education Lottery. Today, the House of Representatives debated a similar bill, but with a twist.
funds are not going to an eligible school. They're going to an eligible child whose parent decides what they need to spend the dollars on.
Representative Shannon Erickson on the House Education Committee says a trustee appointed by the Superintendent of Education should oversee the funds to make sure the money goes to an eligible child.
Trustee should have those duties, which we have done in this cleanup bill.
Republican Representative Neil Collins disagrees with this bill. He says last year the state used $30 million from the Public Education Fund to pay for vouchers this year, which he says the school district he represents, Pickens County, lost more than $600,000.
2 years ago, I warned the body that this was unconstitutional, and it was, and unfortunately, we're continuing to go down this route instead of doing what I think is constitutional and more practical.
Representative Jay Kilmartin says it may be time to let parents decide where they spend education money.
All I know is that there are parents and people invested in this that are saying that they can educate a child for $6,000, where on the other hand, we give the schools between $15,000 and $24,000 per student. And some of them aren't doing very well at it.
Representative Erickson says not a single dollar has left the school districts. In Columbia, I'm Caroline Yalfa.
Coming up, more Elite 8 matchups around the area. We'll have highlights from the North Augusta girls and Butler boys.
News Nation 6.
The prom is a special night for high schoolers, a chance to create memories that will last a lifetime. But for some families, the financial burden can be overwhelming. Join News Channel 6 as we present The Giving Gown, devoted to making sure that all young women feel beautiful on prom night. Donate your gently warm prom dress, shoes, and accessories at Television Park in Augusta. Sponsored by Bridgestone, Aiken Regional Medical Centers, the Mike Costello Law Firm, and News Channel 6.
Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
The North Augusta girls and Butler boys face their respective opponents in the Elite 8 with a final four spot on the line. Over to Butler, the Bulldogs looking for back-to-back Final Four trips as they're facing Franklin County. Bulldogs lead at 42-34. Heading into the fourth quarter, Marcus Scurry, he drives and kicks it out to Zion Smith, who pump fakes and then drains the corner three. Then pretty much the same play, same corner, but then Jameel Walker is right there for the rebound and the putback. Butler gets the 60-44 win and is moving on to the Final Four.
I told my backcourt, they're the first backcourt in school history to go to two Final Fours back-to-back. And so, Marcus Scurry, Kwame Bridges, I ride them guys hard, man. So I had to tell them, the first thing I thought about when that clock hit zero was that in the first backcourt in the rich history of our basketball program, and the only backcourt ever to go to two Final Fours back-to-back.
Over to North Augusta, the girls taking on Gray Collegiate Academy. Kennedy Wright dishes to Messiah Williams for the bucket. Then Selena Grant running the point. She passes to Ashley Walker, and then it goes back to Grant, who finds Williams inside. The Yellow Jackets cruise to a 40-29 victory, booking their ticket to the Final Four.
We continue to preach about working hard and trying to make sure we don't have any mistakes, and we continue to push forward, that we do what it takes to get to the next step. We talk about the next step, but more importantly, we talk about what it takes to get to the next step.
And every week we honor a scholar athlete that excels not only in the classroom, but in the community. This week's scholar athlete is Millie Glad from Aquinas High School. Millie is a four-sport athlete playing volleyball, soccer, basketball, and cheerleading. On the soccer field, she won back-to-back state championships in 2023 and 2024. Now in the classroom, she was top 10 in her graduating class, was a part of the National Honor Society, a student ambassador, and house leader. Millie also has an older sister that she looks up to for motivation.
I think my older sister, she also played a lot of sports, and she kind of got me into playing volleyball. She really liked volleyball, so I played this year. And just like all my other teammates, like my older teammates, I've seen how much they can push people on the court, and I would like to be as hardworking as they are.
We are blown away. Millie is having one heck of a year. It's her senior year, so she saved it all to the last one, but all of her sports and all of her classroom work has just been incredible. It's a great example. She always has You don't really ever have to get on her about doing her job. She's a great leader and leads by example in that way. She goes out there, she's quiet and she's humble. She has that humble part that I think the middle child may not always have. So she puts her head down and goes out there and handles her business on the field, handles her business in the classroom.
In the fall, Millie will attend the University of Georgia with her older sister. Congrats on her award. Brad, back to you.
From giant robots to virtual reality that'll have you feeling queasy. More on the CES 2025 convention.
Do you really know what you're inhaling? Inside every puff are chemicals like nicotine, propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, acrolein, heavy metals like nickel and lead, benzene, acetone, and 2-chlorophenol, along with various flavoring agents. These substances can harm your lungs, heart, and brain. And don't forget about THC vapes, linked to severe lung injuries and even death. Before you take another hit, ask yourself, is it worth the risk? To learn more, visit us at axis1.org.
This Saturday, the NASCAR Xfinity Series rides down to the Lone Star State for some good old Texas twisting and turning.
Buckle up, baby!
The boys take a spin on the one and only Circuit of the Americas.
This track is unforgiving.
A roller coaster will put one heck of a hitch in your giddy up.
This is a wild ride!
The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Coverage begins Saturday at 2 on CW6.
Automakers never stop thinking about your safety. When they discover a safety defect, they issue a safety recall and cover the cost of repairs. It doesn't matter how old your vehicle is, or if you're not the original owner. All you need to do is bring it in. Do your part by checking for safety recalls at checktoprotect.org. Whether you're seen on the big screen, only on News Channel 6.
And last but not least, the Consumer Electronics Show, aka CES, is not always about practical tech.
Sometimes it's about technology that makes you stop in your tracks. Rich DeMuro has the story.
Trade shows are packed with companies, big and small, all competing for your attention. At CES, we call this eye candy, the cool stuff you walk past that begs you to take a closer look. Anything you can touch, feel, taste, or experience works well. If it draws a crowd, you know it's worth checking out. Sometimes bigger really is better, like this TCL robot, X-Real glasses, and TVs moving in perfect sync. Robots have always been crowd pleasers. This one's playing the piano. And this one looks like that Pixar lamp. But what does it actually do? You'll have to ask to find out. The furrier, the better. And any motorized dog will do, even tiny ones with big personalities. When that doesn't work, it's time to bring out the big guns.
Oh, I fly off the roller coaster. Woo. Okay, that's a lot.
If it involves virtual reality, and especially people looking silly doing it. Even if you're not playing, it's fun to watch. And while you're standing there, boom, you're getting the company's pitch. Then there are the characters. Sometimes real celebrities show up, like will.i.am at LG's booth. Other times, you get lookalikes. Here's Snoop Dogg at a startup's table. Or is it? Any one or thing you can take a picture with, that works. Holograms are also a safe bet. Bonus points if you can become one yourself.
If you've ever dreamed of being a hologram, now you can be.
Sometimes the gadgets speak for themselves. A sliding keyboard, a vacuum with a robotic arm, faux windows displaying dreamy views. And if all else fails, just offer a seat, especially if it happens to be a transformer-shaped massage chair.
All right, thank goodness, no robotic anchors another year.
Oh, you're safe for now.
Woo. Tell you what, man. But the dogs were cute, I guess.
Yeah, and those holograms, though, still kind of creepy.
Yeah, kind of creepy
A
indeed.
bit much.
Yeah, wake up in the middle of the night, one of those is staring at you.
Yeah, a lot of technology there. Some of it cool, some of it a little extreme.
But nothing finer than the forecast and the tech we display on this broadcast. It's just cutting edge.
Never needs an upgrade.
Never.
It's top notch. Our 10-day forecast is showing that slight chance of rain tomorrow, getting close to 80 degrees, but then back down to the upper 60s on Friday. A beautiful weekend and a little bit of something for everyone. Warmer on Saturday, cooler on Sunday. Then next week we're up and down as well, 60s and 70s with some slight chances of rain.
Look at that, the 10-day in 4K. To conclude our newscast tonight, thanks for watching. We're back at 11 on News Channel 6.
And Hogan's Heroes is next here on VTV in 4K.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great night.